Good morning, gentlemen. Today my lecture topic is based on startups in India. So startups in India started emerging in the early 2000s. At that point of time, the startup ecosystem was not that much developed and finances were not available strongly. So they were not able to develop quickly. But by now, there are 61,000 startups in India and 23 of them went on to become unicorns. Now, we will look at some statistics like India ranks number 3 on the startup ecosystem all over the world. And it is expected to create 2 to 2.5 lakh jobs in the near future. Now, there are certain stages in startup, but before that we will like to define what is a startup. Due to the subjectivities and complexities involved in a startup, so it is difficult to exactly say what is a startup. However, a startup is a young company which is beginning to develop and grow and is finding unique and innovative ideas to disrupt the existing markets. It is usually financed by a small group of friends, family or individuals or various other incubators. And in India, Bangalore was the startup hub earlier, but now it has been replaced by Delhi NCR. And there are other regions as well where startups are beginning to grow like Chennai and Gurugram. Now let's talk about the 3 startup stages. So these are pre-startup stage, startup stage and the advanced stage. These are all various other factors under which the startups grow. This is a life cycle. Now, reasons or obstacles for startups in India. So number 1 is the financial resources. So there is clearly a lack of finance when it comes to startup, and a startup, in order to grow, it should be financed very well at the early of the stages of the startup life cycle. And then we have the revenue generation problem. As a business grows, the expenses increases and the finances decreases, and because of which startup suffers hugely. So this is one of the reasons. And then we have lack of supporting mechanisms. Like in India itself, there are less number of science and technology parks, business parks and various other avenues. So this has to be emphasized. And then we have other issues like India's diverse culture and linguistic ethnicities. So startup suffers greatly when it comes to setting up a pan-India base, because clearly India is a nation of varied democracy, and there are different culture, religion, tradition, ethnicities, languages, etc., which create a digital divide. So these are some of the main reasons. And now moving on to discuss the realizing the potentials of startups in India. So India is a huge country with a population of 1.3 billion people. And startups can cater to the problems of all the Indians if implemented successfully and innovative ideas are made about. And secondly, we can say that more and more young people are shifting to joining the startups in India. However, the young job seekers usually want stability and security in jobs. So they join big corporations, big multinational corporations, but not startups. But this environment is changing slowly. So these are the changing aspirations of the young population of India. And also startups are being fostered by the government of India. There are various other schemes like eBiz portal, the Atal innovation by the Niti Aayog. And of course, until now there has been 200 to 300 crore investment in the startup ecosystem. Make in India is one of the major schemes by the government of India. Aspire scheme to promote rural and entrepreneurship. 68% of the population of India resides in the rural areas, and startups are emerging in the urban areas. So this creates a digital divide. But I am quite hopeful that in India will emerge and create employment opportunities as more and more entrepreneurs will begin to emerge. And yes, reality shows like Shark Tank India promotes this type of ecosystem at a larger extent. So my recommendations are that if provided with good support at early stages, with finances from different incubators and angel investors and other funds, then startups will emerge, and clearly India will emerge as a leading startup industry all over the world. Thank you.